disappear. Life might be a joke. You get smaller every day. You're like a plane flying over me with a butterfly.
So my name is Aarne Anton, and I'm here with my wife, Tina, and we're here to honor a friend who is an artist that Tina discovered on the streets of New York, who was homeless, or we thought he was homeless, but he considered himself free.
There was a community of homeless artists, and they would have gallery openings and go around. They'd do it in squats. And he was at one, and when I met him, he wasn't even talking. And then this kid, he seemed like a kid at the time, sat down next to me, and he just slowly started to pull out these stencils, which make these patches. He would cut a stencil out of found plastic, like report covers that you use, and he cut out the whole thing that he was going to do. And he found the black denim, and then he got needles from the Clean Needle program, and he got bleach, and he would bleach the black denim to make the positive, to make the image. He'd hold up to the light the negatives, the cutouts, and the only way to see them was to hold them up to the light. And I started to notice, what he was saying. Like they were all kind of ironic and about giving up all material possessions, that we're the slaves, we're all slaves. And by giving up your home, by giving up everything, you're free.
Anthony would actually wear his art on his body. He would sew the patches onto his jacket and his other clothing, and that was his expression at the time we met him.
I remember that day he came in and said that he was making a big picture. Like you asked him if he ever made big pictures, and he said he was making a big picture in a tunnel underground, and that he'd been working on it for a while. And you asked if we could see it. And
but he
said it might not be possible because of where it was, or it was dangerous.
Yeah. I had a dream that this picture was going to get destroyed, and I told him that he had to go and get this picture.
He had done it on this big black piece of cloth, and the next time he came in,
he had it.
He came in with it. He had it.
The next day, in the newspaper, there's a story about a huge fire in the restaurant next door to where the painting was. The painting would have been destroyed had I not had this dream.
And it was mind-blowing because it was like a game board of life and death.
Like a tantric game board.
All of his pictures were black and white in the beginning, but we discovered that he had done art earlier in his life, but he had a breakdown when he was in New York. His father had died. He had a complete collapse and went into the hospital. When he came out, he felt like he had died. He felt free because he had no more attachment to this world. And part of that was giving up his job, his home, which was an apartment that he shared, and he had to get rid of all of his things. So he took all his possessions, he threw it in a dumpster, and he took all his old artwork and he threw it in a dumpster, and it made this sound that he said was the most beautiful sound of being free, of letting go of everything.
Okay, here we have picture songs. Actually, Anthony, toward the latter years of his life, introduced the color red into his artwork, which was all black and white to begin with. And not only that, but they became smaller in size. And he started to incorporate music into the work. And it's not just random music, but it's actually songs that he would make up. And he learned musical notations, and he would have a song that would go with the image of captive. Calliope. Now, it was interesting when Anthony would bring these into the gallery, and I'd ask about the music, if he could play it. He said, yeah. And he pulled out of his pouch a little wooden flute that he had made, and he could actually play the tune on his improvised homemade flute. He never would sing the words, but this one with the eyeglasses magnifying the insects.
This is one of Anthony's sculptures that he would paint or sometimes print on found objects. And early on, when we had the gallery in Soho, I'd find these, and I recognized it as Anthony's work. And so I just used to leave like a little post-it on the piece and say, Anthony, come see me. This is really beautiful. And Anthony would come. That was the only way of communicating. The first one that I saw was a file cabinet with a side view mirror attached to it with all his stencils onto the file cabinet, and it was chained to a lamppost. And I said, oh, this is Anthony. And
We never knew where to find Anthony, because
No.
we didn't know where he
he lived.
spent his nights.
Yeah.
Only one time did he bring us to an abandoned building where he had been staying.
Which was an amazing place. It really was quite beautiful.
Yeah, it was scary too, because the
Yeah.
building only had partial floors and no
Yeah.
windows or
Yeah.
doors.
But where he slept was sort of nice. He had put up all the paintings on that brick wall there.
Yeah.